What's up, fight fans? Very quick video. I was about to go to bed. I can't lie to you. I've got home, about to go to bed. I've been kind of off the grid, if you like, for the last few hours with no internet access or anything. So I'm just about to go home. Thought, let me just go onto the internet, just check what's going on in the boxing one. And lo and behold, massive news. Obviously, everyone would know about it now. The Andre Ward, current light heavyweight king, former super middleweight champion, Olympic gold medalist. The accolades go on and on and on. What is Andre Ward? 32-0, 16 KOs, so unbeaten record. Pound for pound #1, has retired. He's called it quits. I'm shocked. You know what it is? Initially, I'm shocked, but when you think about it, when you kind of weigh out all the options, what he's achieved, where he is in his life right now, how he's with his family, I'm not shocked. I follow Andre Ward on Instagram, like a lot of you guys do, I'm sure. And recently, he's put a couple of videos up, almost throwback videos, right? Kind of talking about big fights in his career. Not necessarily big in terms of big star names, but big in terms of having to prove something to critics, big in terms of his debut, and so on and so forth. And I always feel like, I always find it strange when boxers almost get sentimental about things like that. You almost feel like you know something going on, whether it just be in their mind or if a big decision's coming. Obviously, we got a big decision. When I look at Andre Ward as to possibilities as to why he would retire, the first thing that comes to my mind is options. Options. I look at the light heavyweight division. People might say Adonis Stevenson. Adonis Stevenson just isn't a big name. Adonis Stevenson, although it would be a case of unifying the division, just doesn't get your juices flowing. It's not a name right now in terms of what Adonis Stevenson's done for the last 2 or 3 years in his career that makes the crowd get excited and generates income and pennies in the bank and gets Andre Ward into that kind of fear factor. Andre Ward, I feel like, I remember watching an interview of Nigel Benn years ago, and he talks about fighting Roy Jones Jr. This is ringside. I'll try and put it up. I'll try and get the link. And Nigel Benn said, fighting Roy Jones Jr. scares the shit out of him.
The guy you'd really love to fight is Roy Jones, but that's going to be a hard fight to make politically, isn't it? Roy Jones, I know you think he's #1.
Oh, Roy Jones, to me, I don't mind being #2 to Roy Jones. I think he's a class act, and I'd really like to fight Roy Jones because I know he'll frighten me, Roy Jones, and that's what I need. Someone to really frighten me, and he does that. I'm not saying like, you know, frighten me where, oh, I'm scared of him. I'm talking about like, I'll be up for that fight like a mother. I would be up for that fight, so please God, Don King, Frank Warren, HBO, whatever, if you can get that fight on, I'll fight him in his back, no matter of fact, I'll fight him in my back garden. I love to fight him, I really would. He's the only one that's going to give me that kind of real fear. I mean, more, Gerald Clark never give me no fear, but I'm talking about this guy's going to really put the fear of God at me.
That's what gets him going, that's what makes him do those extra sprints, those runs, those weightlifting, those weight cutting. That's what pushes him to the limit in training. Adonis Stevenson doesn't do that for Andre Ward. He doesn't. Kovalev did, the first one and the rematch. Adonis Stevenson doesn't do it. If you're talking about maybe jumping up a few pounds like his trainer said, there's absolutely nobody in cruiserweight that generates any income whatsoever. Nobody. There are big guys as well, so it's a bigger risk. If you're talking about doing what Roy Jones did, there's just no small heavyweight. Roy Jones had Ruiz. Ruiz was a small heavyweight, or considered a small heavyweight at the time. There is no small heavyweights right now. People may say Joseph Parker. Joseph Parker is not small. Joseph Parker may look small compared to the monsters that are around, but he's not small. He's 6'3", 6'4", and he's a big guy, especially compared to Andre Ward. So there just isn't that fight out there. There just isn't that fight. And if there's not that fight, why hang on and fight unknown, risky guys for low rewards, like the likes of Berta Biev and some of the cruiserweight guys? There's no point. I think Andre Ward's a very good commentator. He's moved to that side now. Obviously, he was covering the Mayweather McGregor fight. He did a fantastic job. ESPN and Showtime have used him for a few other events. He has his own little thing that I watched him. I think he does for ESPN where he talks about MMA as well. So he's very good at that. He loves his family. He really loves his family. He always posts pictures of his boys and his wife. And I feel like boxing, look, you've got boxers put their families and loved ones through a hell of a lot. Not just a case of the time they spend away, but just the agonizing about your fight against your husband or your dad or your cousin or your brother getting into the ring. It must go. Your family must go through a hell of a lot of strain. So if he thinks that he's done enough and he no longer wants to put his family through the strain, then good for him. Good for him. My motto has always been, and I might get some t-shirts about this: get in, get paid, get out. He hasn't had massive money fights, but a Kovalev, look, you don't need to earn 200-300 million like Mayweather. You don't even need to earn 30-40 million like Golovkin and Canelo did recently. 5 million's fine. 2 million's fine. 2 million's fine. Believe me, if you're earning 5 or 2 million as a boxer, you're in the top 2%. You're in fact, you're in the top 1%. No, you can, a handful, I'd say, of boxers are earning $1 million purses. A handful. So if Andre Ward did earn that for his last 2 Kovalev fights, then believe me, he's in that handful, and I think that's enough. That's enough. That and a good Showtime job and going out with all your faculties in place is fantastic. I'm trying to think in my head where I have Andre Ward in terms of in this generation. Obviously, right now he's the pound for pound number 1. I think that's clear. I think people might argue about him and Terence Crawford, but I think going up and taking on the beast that was Kovalev and beating him once and then beating him very convincingly the second time makes you pound for pound number 1 in my eyes. Where he is in this generation, I think you probably have to have Mayweather maybe above him. I say maybe, and I'll get to why I say maybe in a minute. Pacquiao, Hopkins, Cotto. It's tough, but he's definitely in the top 7 or 8 of this generation. I don't think he's had enough major fights, and I say major, I mean Carl Froch was a big one. Obviously the Kovalev fights. I think Kessler was a massive one because no one knew him coming into the Super 6 really, and to beat Mikael Kessler, I think was actually favourite for the Super 6 tournament, is a big one. Beating the pre-tournament favourite on what I think was Ward's 17th or 18th fight is very, very impressive. There's not enough massive fights in there for me. There's the likes of Sakio Bika, which is actually a tough fight for Ward. Sullivan Barrera at light heavyweight. There isn't enough big names. Big, like super names. In saying that, do I think Ward would have beat anyone in and around his time? Like now, 110%. Any super middleweight, any light heavyweight. 110%. Chad Dawson was... I don't give Chad Dawson performance much credit because I think Chad Dawson's a massive light heavyweight. And he drained him down to 168. I think Chad Dawson was dead on the scales. But nonetheless, I think Ward would have beaten anyone in and around his weight class at the time of his peak, which is still now really. Let's not forget he had 2.5 years out of the ring as well. So that probably took away 8 or 9 fights. So Ward will probably be about 40-0 right now. And 40-0 sounds a hell of a lot better than 32-0. But yeah, he's a Hall of Famer, 2-weight world champion. Did what he needs to do at super middleweight, did what he needs to do at light heavyweight, and I'm happy that he's retired from boxing. I'm always happy when boxers retire, and Andre Ward seems like the sort of person that will stay retired, but you never know. He's 33 years old. A challenge could come in a couple of years, it could, and then we'll see what he can do. Then we'll see if he turns the money down. But right now, he'll focus on his Showtime commentary career, he'll focus on his family, and I'm extremely happy for it. So Andre Ward, pound for pound, number 1, retired. So the new pound for pound is who? Crawford or GGG? Crawford.